Welcome to the Consultants Training Institute's Emerging Leaders Series. I'm Brien Jones, joined by Courtney Sparks White, who has been a busy lady within the business valuation profession over the past few years. Courtney is a previous chair of NACVA's Valuation Credentialing Board. She was just elected to NACVA's Executive Advisory Board. On top of those two very prestigious roles within the organization, she is chairing the Current Update in Valuations course and also the Around the Valuation World in 90 Minutes course. Got to be one of the hardest working women in our organization right now, Courtney. Do you have any spare time?
Not much. Oh
my goodness.
No.
Why the volunteerism? What is it that prompts you to get involved and to give back to the profession?
NACVA makes it so easy. They've teed it up for me so nicely with Mark Bello as one of the co-editor on Around the Valuation World and with the Current Update course. So he's really kind of taken me under his wing, and it's been easy to do that piece of it. When I first started in the Valuation Credentialing Board, to be honest, I had no idea what I was doing.
Right.
But you know, the more you get into it, I love valuation. Like, it's in my core. I love numbers. I love the people part of it. And you know, I've been taught so much by so many people throughout my career that I want to pass that on and be able to be like those people that have mentored me.
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you get into the profession? Where did you go to school? What did you study?
Sure.
How did you land into being a valuation analyst?
So it's quite a funny story. So I went to school at Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee. I studied math and finance. And the summer before I graduated from college, I was actually playing in a golf tournament with my mom.
Okay.
And we got paired with two gentlemen, one of whom happened to be the consulting partner at a local accounting firm in Columbus, Ohio. And he said, "Well, what are you doing after school?" And I said, "Well, I'm looking for a job. I'm not exactly sure." So I had interviews all over the place and came back to Columbus and interviewed with GBQ in Columbus.
Okay.
And I started out my career right in valuation, so I've never known anything else.
Wow.
Yep, so I've been in the consulting valuation area since I started.
What are some of the areas that you specialize?
So I do a lot of valuation in the litigation context. I also have a law degree. So after I was at GBQ for a little bit, I switched over to a boutique firm. We did a lot of litigation work. I really cut my teeth there. And at that time, I went to law school at night.
Oh.
So it was quite fun. I have a most fantastic husband. He keeps me straight and narrow. But through that process, I really enjoy the legal aspect of it. So I do a lot of litigation work,
Okay.
not practicing law ever, but so my valuation is in family law, a lot of family law stuff. I'll do damages cases, personal and business.
Okay.
And then I also, because I am at an accounting firm, I do a lot of work for our clients, whether that's internal management type planning, just general planning purposes. So
Okay.
I get to dip my toe in a lot of different places, which I really love.
Mm-hmm. Litigation is a very exciting part of the profession, but also can be a dangerous place if you're not quite skilled or educated, and then having to testify and follow the compliance of federal rules of evidence and case law. What advice would you give to young professionals, primarily maybe credentialed members who are looking to get into litigation, so that they could, learn from where you've come from? What advice would you give?
First, read a lot. And sometimes when you're reading, you don't necessarily know what you're reading, so keep reading. I love to learn, so keep reading and find a mentor or two that can really guide you and give you advice on how to act and how to be in the courtroom.
Mm-hmm.
I just sat through one of the forensics accelerators downstairs talking about lost profits. And I mean, there are so many people you can meet at conferences that can be your mentor, even if they're not in your city,
Mm-hmm.
that I think those two pieces, just keeping abreast of what's going on in the industry, and then finding a mentor who can guide you through, and you can ask questions of whether they're silly or not silly.
Right.
Yeah.
Every question is a good question. At least
Yeah.
that should be the
Yeah.
mentality behind it. What is challenging you in your profession? There's so many different aspects of litigation, evaluation, theory, application, resources. What are the things that you struggle with?
Right now, the way my practice is growing, I struggle with delegation. So I am getting, my practice is growing. So I'm going to have to learn how to take things off my plate and pass them on to others. I very much, because litigation is so about you and being on the stand, I like to hold things close. I know there's got to be a way that I can do better what I'm doing now to pass some of that off, but still hold, what I need to know to be on the stand. So right now it's that practice management and practice development.
Okay.
So in that regard, I've had a lot of great conversations with some of our members who have been mentors to me in that regard as well, which has been really nice. So I think that's right now one of the biggest things that I'm struggling with, because I know it's coming and I'm going to have to figure out how to move my practice forward, because it's going to not have to just be me.
In developing a lot of the courses, particularly with the current update course and around the Valuation World program, what are some of the hot topics or current trends that are happening right now that you can share and talk about with folks who are watching this interview?
Sure. Well, case law is always a hot topic. We had a great discussion the other day with Pete Agripides and Mel Abraham and Stephanie Loomis-Price. So just staying on top of case law, there's always stuff going on, whether it's valuation related or just us being educators in the courtroom and to the trier of fact. And then also the really big hot topic, I think, that's been discussed in a number of different presentations is the calculations of value versus the conclusions of value.
Okay.
So Mark Bello and I did a presentation on that 2 days ago, and then Mark Hansen and I spoke on it again yesterday, and,
Wow.
and I know it's popped up in a bunch of other presentations.
So give a little bit about some takeaways from those sessions.
Sure.
That are critical for people to get a clarity on the distinction between the two.
Sure. So from the reading of the standards, the biggest clarity between the two is that the calculation is in agreement with the client. Now, there are a lot of interpretations of where that agreement lies and how that can be utilized, but one of the biggest takeaways that I've gotten from this conference is that the calculation can be such a valuable tool for us at the beginning, the preliminary analysis phase of whether it's litigation or a estate planning preliminary piece of it. Mark Bello was really, really great and gave a great delivery on how that can be just a really valuable tool for us to not just jump someone straight to a conclusion of value. Biggest challenges, I think, with it are educating the attorneys and the clients about the difference between the two and the risks and pitfalls you can get into with using a calculation. For instance, when you get into a litigation setting where a lot of times the calculation isn't being accepted by the court because it's in agreement with the client and it's not our opinion and it's not us moving forward with that. So there's been some great discussion, and we had about an hour of just straight questions the other day. It was fantastic. I love sessions like that. Yeah.
What is it you love about teaching?
I don't know if I ever thought I would love the teaching piece of it. And this might be selfish, but I think that what I love about it is that I learn every time I'm in the audience or I'm teaching too. The participants and the NACVA members have such a wide background, and in terms of their practices and their substance of the clients they work with, that, I mean, the questions that they ask inevitably teach you something. So that's what I like about it. I don't know if that's selfish or not, but I like the interaction.
No, sure. I've heard from other folks that to teach, you really have to push yourself out there, to find the resources, the information, and then to communicate that, is a critical skill, and it's challenging and fun.
Yeah, and I think just to teach without having that feedback and to know that they're actually thinking about what you're talking about, to get that mind going. And that's what I love about valuation is that I think we're a thinking profession.
Do you still golf?
I do.
So, what was it like going to Vanderbilt? Were you there? I think on a scholarship, weren't you?
No, I was not. I always tell people I was just the GPA support.
So you enjoy golfing, and what other kinds of things do you like doing when you have spare time?
Well, I have a fantastic husband who is, he stays at home with our two boys. So I have a 3.5-year-old and a 1-year-old who are at home with my husband's parents this week. He's actually getting a vacation too. But
good.
We do a lot of stuff with them. They're fun. They keep us busy. So Bobby is the older one and Henry is the younger one.
Wow. Yeah. You're lucky to have such a great mom. Ambitious, talented, smart, leading the organization, working hard. thank you, Courtney, for your time. We appreciate your contribution to the profession and look forward to you continuing that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I enjoy being a part of the organization.
Well, thanks.
Thank you.
We'll see you all next time.